Testing, testing. Hey, physics students. This is Mr. Galoya here, and let me get this slideshow kind of set up. Um, I guess we can hit view here. And well, the question is, you're just sitting kind of there, and you're in a physics class. The question you might have is, what exactly is physics? You probably have had a little bit of biology. That's the study of plants and animals and dissection and things. You've maybe had some chemistry last year. In chemistry, you mix different liquids and maybe different sorts of elements and compounds, and you get reactions. You study the periodic table. Your question may be now, what exactly is this course about, physics? Well, physics, I think, is great, one of the greatest things to study. It's kind of the study of motion, and we all move, and there's just literally gazillion things in our world and our universe that move in different ways, and that's kind of what we're going to study. A lot of things we do involve motion. Well, to help us understand how things move and why things move, we need to use some math, and generally this involves a little bit of algebra. We have some equations we're going to develop. These equations have symbols, like the V here, that stands for velocity. The A is acceleration, which is a change of velocity, and T stands for time. And these three equations here are pretty famous sorts of equations. They're called our kinematic equations, and they can help us understand how, why different things move in our world and our universe. We also deal with types of graphs. This happens to be what's called a velocity time graph. Just from this graph, there's lots of information here in this graph, and this graph is telling me that an object started at rest. It means it starts at 0 meters per second, and it's accelerating. It's getting faster for the first 2 seconds. Maybe this is a car. This car's accelerating. It gets up to some speed, and then it stays constant for a couple of seconds, and then it starts to slow down, and finally it comes to rest. So maybe this car is at a stoplight. The stoplight turns green. The car accelerates, gets faster and faster and faster, and then finally the car reaches some speed and stays constant. And then it finally slows down to a stop. Maybe there's another stoplight ahead. It's red now. You got to stop the car. So this graph can help us, and other types of graphs too can help us determine how things move. Let's do the different slide. I think you'll find this a very fun course. It's kind of challenging, but I think you'll find it. We do a lot of fun things. We do a lot of movie making, short movies of things in motion. We can review those movies. We can use software to help us figure out what the object's doing. This is a little picture of me dropping a softball. It's a concept called free fall. I'll make a lot of movies. I've made a lot of movies in the past that you'll watch, and then you'll make your own. This is kind of a little montage of some of the movies we've made in the past. It's just a few of them. We've made a lot more of these too. So let me just click this. This is some cars on Louisiana Street. Again, we can use some software to determine how fast they're moving. Physics is also the study of electricity. This happens to be a little LED project. This is at softball and free fall. I'm right in front of the building there. This is me on my kayak. I'm at Clinton Lake. We could determine the velocity of me paddling. It's probably not too fast. This happens to be a little push rocket. We do a lot of stuff with rockets in here. This is a string vibrating, and we can determine different aspects of its motion as well. You can kind of see it there. It's that yellow string. This happens to be Clinton Lake again. This is water waves, and we can look at the different types of motion. There. This is a constant velocity tube. So lots of different types of videos that we can make. It shows how things move. What fun thing we do is we like to build projects, and we like to build different little cars and things, and catapults and things, and look at how things kind of move. This is a little constant velocity vehicle, and we can determine its speed. So we do a lot of different types of projects in here. I think you'll enjoy that aspect of the course. The course can get kind of challenging. some kids have a little bit of trouble with the math. Don't worry about it. Just hang in there. Ask questions if you have questions. Talk to me. Talk to other students. Uh, you know, I think you'll find that you'll really, in May, you'll really say, hey, this was a pretty fun class, pretty enjoyable class. That's what most kids say. I know you'll do great. This little trebuchet that we'll make a little bit later in the course. It's called projectile motion. So hang in there. You'll do great. I'm glad you're in the class. Welcome to Lawrence High. Welcome back to the school year. Welcome to my class. Again, my name is Mr. Gloria, Mr. G.